Bonjour, bienvenue. Thank you for tuning in to our virtual sixth form open evening. For those of you who are joining from outside OLA, I am Madame Pang and I'm in charge of languages. And today I want to give you a bit more information about the A-level French course that we offer here at OLA. And I will be giving you a bit more information about the different themes, the different exams, and some specific information which are worth bearing in mind if you choose to embark on the course. For French and for other languages we offer, we use the Pearson edXL course. The resources that we use are the Hodder textbook and also some other affiliated resources like grammar workbook and things like that. And we use a lot of authentic resources as well, because obviously the level of language is a little bit more demanding. So the topics that you would be discussing or studying about in this course, there are 4 main themes, and they are all based on social issues and trends, aspects of the political and artistic culture of the target language countries, so France, or of French-speaking countries as well. The 3 of the themes, theme 1, 3, and 4, focus on France only, whereas the second one, theme 2, requires students to also study about other French-speaking countries. So the first theme is mainly about family, education, and the world of work. The second theme, we will have music, media, festivals, traditions, customs, and things like that of all the French-speaking countries, not just France. The third theme is about immigration, positive aspects, negative aspects, and also the rise of the far right. And the fourth theme is actually a part of history of France that we study, and it's the occupation, France during the German occupation in the Second World War. And it deals with occupied France, the regime of Vichy, the Vichy state, and the French resistance. In addition to that, you will also have to study 1 literary text and 1 film, which I'm going to give you a bit more detail about. So these are the works that we are studying at OLA. The book for French is Un sac de billes by Joseph Joffo, which is an autobiography, and it links really nicely with the 4th topic of the course, which is the topic on history. And the film that we study is called Les 400 coups by François Truffaut, and it's an absolute classic. And everybody knows about it in France, and it's really worth studying because there is a lot of interesting things to learn from it in terms of culture as well. For the speaking exam, there is also a component called the Extended Research Project, which is essentially independent research that the students carry out by themselves and which they will need to be able to discuss and present in their speaking exam. So this is not guided by the teacher, okay? It's really independent, and students can choose a subject of interest. They can also choose some of the things they've studied during the year, but it must not clash with the film or book that they have studied or the themes that we have studied in class. Okay, so they can choose a broader approach to the certain themes, but they must not reuse exactly the same thing as they've studied. But it's a really good opportunity for students to be able to discuss and present something that really interests them about French culture or French society. So the different exams that you would have to do for the French course, there are 3 exams. The first one is the listening, reading, and writing, paper 1. Paper 2 is written response to works and translation, which has to do essentially with writing essays about the book and the film that you've studied and some translation. And the third paper is the actual speaking assessment. The speaking assessment is conducted by the teachers, but it is examined or marked by Pearson edXL. All papers are. And students usually complete the speaking assessment in April or May, whereas the other 2 papers take place in June or in the exam period of that year. The timing of the speaking assessment is actually quite a long assessment. In total, it's about 23 minutes maximum, including 5 minutes of preparation. So students actually get to speak about between 16 and 18 minutes in French, which is quite a lot compared to GCSE. There is a bit more information on here about the actual weighing of the exams and the timings. Okay, so paper 1 is 2 hours. It represents 40% of the overall qualification, and it's out of 80. The second paper, which is the written one, is 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's writing, so obviously you need a bit more time. It represents 30% of the qualification, and it's 120 marks in total. And the speaking is conducted in a period of time which is given by the exam board in school, and it is worth 30% of the qualification, and it's out of 72 marks in total. That's a bit more detail. So requirements and rewards. This is obviously a demanding course. There is a lot of challenging elements in there, as you have seen in the themes. So it's really taking language learning and awareness of French culture to a completely new level. We have a lot more time in this course to be able to discuss and focus on French culture, which obviously at GCSE would probably spend more time focusing on acquiring language. So in order to embark on this course, we always advise that you must be confident with your use of the language, and especially your use of grammar. It is very important because you will have to build on strong foundations to be able to access the level of language and grammar that you will need for this course. It will give you a lot of insight into French society and culture, which is a really interesting part of the course. It will help you develop your critical thinking, which is really useful for university, whether you study languages or anything else after that. It's really helping you to develop your critical thinking. You will gain experience in studying literature and films in the target language, and you will also be able to learn some history. So it's actually a very varied course. There are a lot of different things in there that you will be able to tackle within those 2 years. Preparation. If you wish to prepare for the course at any given stage, whether you're already in GCSE or not yet, you should try to listen to French on a regular basis. Maybe the radio, French movies is a really good idea. Focus on strengthening your knowledge of grammar and your vocabulary, because as I said earlier, you really need to be confident to be able to take this course. Keep an eye on news in France, or what's happening in France or other French-speaking countries. And if you would like to attempt some longer reading in French independently, you can always ask your teacher to provide some extension so that you can maybe give a go at slightly shorter text before you embark on the course and have to tackle a slightly longer written text. So at OLA, we've got students who have gone to do many different things after studying languages. Some of them study, obviously, 1 or 2 languages further on, or they might go on and do something different. We have students who have gone to do history of art in the past. We've got people this year who are interested in doing law and French, or geography and politics, or French and Russian. So there is it can really be a backup as well for a lot of other subjects or other paths that you would like to follow in the future. And it will really help you gain confidence in using the language for the future, whether you carry on in the university or not. We are fortunate to have slightly smaller groups at OLA, which means that for developing speaking, especially, it's really useful. We tend to see that students are really flourishing in that skill because they've got the extra time and the extra attention of the teacher, being able to do one-to-one talks and so on. And so we find that students are really benefiting from that. If you think that you would be interested in joining the A-level course, please don't hesitate to send me an email to ask any questions you may have. My address is hpong@olab.org.uk. And if you would like to get more details about the specification, the full specification can be found on the Pearson Edexcel website. And if you're in school, obviously you can approach any of your teachers to discuss your options with doing the French course. We would be really happy to hear any questions you may have. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see many of you in the near future who are willing to take on this challenging but very rewarding course. Thank you. Merci. Au revoir.